What's up, y'all? This is welcome to the Pinhook's third class for Since4Eva class. What is that, you ask? That is a series that we're doing, which I'm really excited about. And it's about booking and how to book and what we as like a 225 cap venue, queer owned and operated venue in North Carolina, what we want to see out of booking emails, and hopefully so we can all get on the same page so we can have some dope shows. Bands can learn how to send emails that are really concise. They can teach us things too, but I'm just coming to you from the venue perspective of like, okay, I get 5,000 emails a day and this is what I'm looking for. So I'm really hoping that helps. Excuse me. And we're really hoping that helps. And any of your input that you have, you can put in the comments or whatnot. I know last class we got a lot of comments that I didn't see. So today we have Pinhook commentator Cat in the room with us, who is going to interrupt me. And
Meow.
Good job interrupting Cat. And let me know when you comment and have a question so we can stop. And to see these, you can also go to our Patreon or Substack. We're going to post them. Hopefully we'll all get on the same page. If you're on TikTok, love you. We don't have the slides, but I can generally see your questions. So just repost them again and again if I don't see them, okay? Sick. Here we go. I think this is the most exciting class because, for me at least, because this is the email, right? I'm like, here's how I check and see if I'm going to write you another email. And I don't mean to sound so gatekeepy. Honestly, I just am trying to be really honest about the workload. I feel like sometimes it's interesting and well, there are many different kinds of bookers. And I feel like one thing for me, like I do want to read every email, but it's just kind of impossible. So here's how to get noticed in the email. Welcome. Before you send the email, before you're like, can I get a date? First of all, can I get a date is a bad email. Second of all, here's sort of what you need to have together before you actually push send. You need to have your EPK, whatever version that is for you. That's like your electronic press kit. And meow, interrupting Cat. You need to have your press kit, so your EPK electronic press kit. We'll go through what that is. I'll show you an example. You need to have a date range, not just most likely one date. That date you could possibly get it, but chances are that date's booked or has somebody else excited about it. You need to have your bill, and I put a question mark here because sometimes you don't need a bill. Sometimes you can get the date, say some proposed artists, and then get your bill together afterwards. It's really hard to get together a bill for like a range of dates. So totally know that. And then there is the reality check. And we're going to go through that. But basically that is this the right venue for you? Can you fill the venue? Is it going to be a good show for everybody? What does the venue want to know? Everything that you can tell us, just mostly in a more succinct version that I feel like you'd want to tell us. We want to know your show history. What that means is like in the area, not everywhere necessarily, but in the area, where have you played? How many people turned out? Did you pack out Ruby's? Have you sold out Motorco? Are you doing an underplay here? You can also say who you actually toured with and where you've played before. That's fine. But what we're really interested in is in the area, where have you actually played? And how did that show go? How many people came? How many paid ticket sales did you have? What were your ticket prices? We want to have a template of what you've already done so that we can learn from it and make it an even better show. Also, your music. I'd love to hear your music. I don't need a link to literally everything, just maybe your Bandcamp or a link that I can just hit play and be like, oh, that's what's going on. That's who this band is. That's what they sound like. Then you need your bio. I'm a really big advocate for a short form bio. You can do both, and I've seen a lot of bands do both. Having a short form bio that's like, I'm going to say this big, but just, 6 to 8 sentences. It's like, here's what's up, here's who we are. And then a longer form bio that is like your record bio. But we aren't going to spend a ton of time on the email because we're going to get a lot of them. So we're literally just trying to scan and see what's going on. What releases that you've had, like, is this your third record? Is this your first release? That kind of thing. Short press quotes are also really important. Like, I'll show you an example in the next slide. But if publications that we all know and love, or we all know and some people love, or whatever, have written something about your band, include that. I think that shows us who or how far your record has already reached people and gives us something to be able to promote. Past shows and festival appearances, that's, I'd say, less important. Again, what we're looking at is how many people can you bring out in this town? And sometimes that's directly correlated to the fact that you've played Fuzzfest or The Fest or Treefort or whatever else, right? But sometimes it's not. Quick break for some coffee. If you have any questions, holler at us, okay? We'd love to hear your comments. This is going to be incredibly hard to read. Again, if you just joined us on TikTok, you're not going to see these slides, but you can find them on our Patreon or our Substack. Sweeping Promises is a great band, and they are playing the Pinhook coming up. And this is an example of a short bio. So it's, it has self-described, like what they do, what they sound like. It has how they started. It's really just succinct. They've received critical acclaim for their songwriting and idiosyncratic punk production. So that sort of gives me an idea of what the sound is like. And then at the end, it says they've toured a lot, essentially, and that the band's reputation has a fierce live act. Music to my ears. I love hearing about your live show and how different it could be. Your press photo. This is exciting. Press photos are so fun. Press photos are not just photos of your band playing live that someone took with their iPhone. Could be, but I think the thing that people want to see is just like a hint of like, I'm trying more. So you can have live shots, but pose shots are awesome to at least sprinkle in there. We want landscape and portrait versions so that we can use them in different versions of like social media and promotion. And yeah, a little look of professionalism is kind of key. You can also, excuse me for all that, y'all, but you can also include your album artwork because you spend a lot of time on it. And of course we want to see it. Here's some dope press photos. This is on the person holding their belt loops, that's Ann Jimley. And he's really great, a great live act. He's also playing the Pinhook soon. And I just really love this shot because it's like got attitude. It's professional. And it says, it really does actually say a lot about their personality. Then we have Those Dogs also on the bottom. And that is a really sick looking pose, but super chill shot. It's not anything like too thought out, but it's really sweet. Cheerleader Roadkill. In the middle, also like you're like, that's a skateboard punk band. I like that band. And then on the upper corner, I don't know which one it is for you, that's Sylvanesso playing live at the Pinhook. And that is a cool photo. So that's a cool live. I really dig that live photo because it's like, you see what's happening. It's not just randomly shot. It looks professional. But yeah, I like these photos a lot. Y'all with me out there? Also, in your EPK, it's good to have music that you want us to listen to. It's not the only thing that we listen to, so don't just send your like links to songs. All this other stuff is really, really important. I'd love to listen to every band again, but it's really impossible with the amount of emails that we get. So send links to 2 or 3 songs, or just send your Bandcamp page. You could also send music videos. Those are, I love getting music videos because it does the thing that you get to see the band playing or their creativity, and then you also get to hear their music. So it's, you know, if you have them, they're not terribly hard to make, but they also, I'm in a band, there's several, and it's sort of the last thing on our list, so that's not a make or break, you know, but it is exciting to be able to send those and to see those. If you're just joining us on TikTok, what's up? You're not able to see our slideshow, but you can see it on Patreon or Substack at some point. And if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the TikTok chat. Another thing I like to see, we're just talking about EPKs, and another thing I like to see is collaborations. Like, who have you worked with? That's just fun. I mean, community like builds community. So if you've been on the road for a long time or playing music for a long time, like what other stuff have you done? You know, that's what I want to see. So I'm going to show you a video. Hello. I'm going to show you a video that I really like about, let's see, it's a Robber. I think it is Robber. And Robber has a great video. We're going to watch a little bit of it, but just so you see what's going on and an example of like what I think is a really dope music video. I'm not going to make this full screen, so just check this out for a minute. In the room. And not a lot of props. The connection is not wild. There's been a lot of pushback. I need it, you know? Oh. It's so good. For time constraints, I'm just gonna stop that. But that was a sick video. I love it. What did you guys think? Did anyone see it? Does anyone know Robber also? Let's see. They're playing the Pinhook in the coming weeks. So if you like that video, come get them. Get your ticks. So yeah, that is the video. I also am so curious if anyone has any videos that they like. This would be a fun thing to do at some point, like a little share of videos, because that one freaking ruled. And I love to get like Yeah, it's just nice to see things that I don't see all the time. So share away, y'all. Pinhook is a community, you know? Okay, so after you've attached your video or YouTube link is totally fine, then throw in some like, I mean, bands get press all the time. It doesn't have to be from, Pitchfork or Bitchfork or whatever the hell. It doesn't have to be that. It can be from the local radio station. It can be whatever, like any kind of press. We just want to see who's talking about you, what other people have said, and see that you've made some effort or or something to get your like music out there and that people are receiving it. Just like there's some kind of network. Want to see it. Radio appearances, music blogs, upcoming tours, just like things that you're working hard on, you know. I know I said that, but just things that you're working really diligently on. We want to see what you're doing to push your staff. So this one's good. This is Sweeping Promises. They got a 7.8 on Pitchfork. So many people know what Pitchfork is. It's literally not the only thing that we care about. It's just another thing that will let us know that people are receiving your music. But it's a really good score. They attached like a little blurb of what they said. So they weren't like, hey, here's our Pitchfork review. Read the whole article. It's like, boom, flash, read this. Here it is. Super helpful. Then you want to make sure you put clear contact info, your email especially. I have a lot of people asking me if they can give me a call or other ways of contact like text or whatever, and the answer is no, not for the first email. If we build a relationship, sure. It's like, think about it as like a date. You're like, cool, I'm gonna see you in somewhere public, like email land. And then after a little while, once we've established a little rapport, like maybe we can text or maybe we'll talk about some things. But yeah, it takes we gotta build up to it. And then put your social links up in there, and then put your most relevant first, because most venues are on all socials. TikTok has been a little slow, I feel like, for some venues. I've tried to check it out. But I feel like because venues are usually run by like older people, and by that I mean late 30s, early 40s on, because who else is like, it's a good idea to run a business. The socials have to catch up to us, so TikTok is not as prevalent, but also into it. If most of your following's on TikTok, put that one first. A lot of venues are on Instagram, Facebook also, like maybe not as relevant, but put it up there. If that's where you have like 10,000 views, that's what we want to see. How y'all doing out there? So much love to people who are watching and paying attention and like digesting, and your comments are so welcome and loved. We really want to understand what you want to see from these classes and what you think about what we're saying. So this is like Sweeping Promises. I'm going to show you their EPK because their EPK is sick. I already asked them. I've gotten permission. It's awesome. But so this is how they put their socials up, and they put their Instagram first. Their Instagram is great. And then they just listed kind of everything. They're like, we're all over, or Spotify, and then, so that's all of that essentially is your EPK. That's your, what you're showing us. That's your information for your band. In the body of the email, in a simple paragraph, what we really need to know are these things. And again, your email is going to get like one look. And if it's a lot of back and forth that we have to do, it's less likely that we'll engage in that. So if you get all this information in that email and it's succinct, then it's more likely that you'll get a response and we'll work out some dates. So we would love the date range, because you Might not get the date you prefer, but put that in there too. So have like, you're like, we're touring through somewhere between the 3rd and the 6th, or like we're local and we want a Thursday in August, that kind of thing. And then if you aren't a local, put your locals on the bill, or if you have a proposed bill, which those things can change, put that in the email too. Be like, we want to play with Mega Bitch, or and we're friends with them. We're gonna try to. We got Joseph DeCosimo on the bill, or the Muslims. Put that in there, and that'll get us hype because we are really in tune, or I guess the Pen Hut is at least, and there are several other venues are really in tune with the local scene. We want to like definitely see that you are too. You can put in your proposed ticket price. A lot of times we do advance and day of, more than 2 ticket prices. Like if you want to do $7 for a week, the more complicated you make it, the less likely it's going to be easy. And the less likely it's kind of simple, the less likely we are to look at it. So keep it easy for us. Pinnock has a radius clause. It's 30 miles and 30 days. It's not strict, but if you're going to play a show in Durham and then you have a show a week later in Raleigh, that's kind of not cool. Like, it's not ideal. The Triangle area is a one-stop shop, essentially. Like, if Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham are very similar markets. And so not having shows that are competing with each other is ideal. Greensboro, have a show in Greensboro. It just depends on how big your draw is and how far your reach is. Again, we want to pack the show out every time, and we want your help. The expectations that you have, or that the venue has, it's cool if you ask that. I feel like when I get requests that are like, here's all the info, and then like, we need a show, when it's like sort of self-involved in that way, doesn't feel as good, because I think the thing that's missing in that kind of request is that we're in relationship here. Like, I want to pack the show out with you. I want you and me to work together with our promo team, pack the show out. So if I ask you, I'm like, well, what do you want? What's your bill? What's your ticket price? I'm asking you questions. It's really nice to get a question and a response, which is, well, what are your expectations? Venue, like, what do you need to make it successful? And that shows me that you're really interested in making the show successful. Running a venue is like definitely a labor of love. Nobody makes a lot of money here either, even though sometimes it looks like it. So the more we can be like cooperating together, the better. Here's how you should organize your email. And I think one of the most important things for the email is the subject line. If you have in your subject line date, band, venue, that is epic. Then I can search back for that. The date could change, whatever, but it just gives me all the information that I need to know like what I'm clicking into in that subject line. So cool. Then have a short intro. Like, hey, what's up? It's those dogs from Knoxville. We love your spot. We really want, and then dive into it. Like, give me your date and query. Tell me what dates you're looking for, with a target date. And your target date is like, this is what we're trying for Thursday the 17th. But if you have these dates, we can also see if we can make that work. Links and press, the things that we've seen before, and then wrap it up. Be like, here's all the stuff that you need to know. What else do you need to see if we can, this is an epic question. What else do you need to see if you can book us at your venue? Here's a pretty good example. Did I do a good job? I tried to make sure the band's name, oh, no, they're down there. But this is a great email. Basically, it's like, here's what's up. Here's a little bio. And then we have, here's our links. Here's a live performance video. But I love this email because it says, there's nothing of note at this time. but they know that they should, so they put it in there. Similar artists, that's helpful, unnecessary, but like, cool. I kind of know what you sound like now. You're Soundgarden with a touch of blues-based riffs. Excellent. And then epically, here's our live draw. This is not a science. It's basically like how many people generally come out to your shows. I know the date. It's like, don't be too perfectionist about it. And don't oversell yourself. I guarantee you that most venues are like, cool, you said you get 400 people out. We're going to go with 150. Like we might, don't make us do that. Just be really honest with what you actually can bring out. Again, what's up? If you're on TikTok, we are so stoked to have you. We have slides at Patreon and Substack, so you can check those out later. But we're doing these classes every Wednesday for just a little bit at 7 p.m. and we're stoked to have you here. Then you have stage plot, tech info. That's really all we need to know is like, at this point, we can ask for your plot later and your contact info. So dope. And then they'd love to open. Thanks, Brian Farmer. And here are some pictures. Before we get to the follow-up, this has been really fun. We have we're here for just a little longer, but we are going to show you, or I'm going to show you this other EPK that I got and this other email from Sweet Dream, who are a really, really dope band. I asked them if we could share their email, and who wouldn't be like, yeah, share my email because you think it's so good. So here's Sweet Dream's email. Anyone out there have any questions, please holler. Just put them in the chat. We have somebody watching the chat. Pinhead Cat, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Whoa, Pinhead Cat talks. Excellent.
I mean, meow.
All right, so any questions you have, Pinhead Cat will definitely let us know. But here is Sweet Dream. Sweet Dream did a really good job with this email. Basically, can everybody see that? Probably. Ugh. Basically, Sweet Dream says, hey, this is Julian Creech Pritchett with the NC-based psych rock fusion trio. Whoa, sick. I know what you sound like already. Sweet Dream featuring Pearl drums. Yeah, all of these things. I'm reaching out and then right away diving into it. Good job, Sweet Dream. I'm reaching out to inquire for a hold on Saturday the 15th. They can accept local recommendations. They're talking to Mellow Swells. So, okay, I get Sweet Dream is down to have my suggestions. Dope. They also already connected with Mellow Swells. Awesome band in the area too. They are seeking a $150 guarantee, but are open to door deals. Great. It's always good to ask for a guarantee. Venues can come back and be like, no, which is exactly what I did. We're like, no, we haven't hung out with y'all here much. So we're going to do a door split. It's going to be 70-30 from $1. How does that sound? And they said yes. And it was awesome. There's nothing wrong with asking for what you want. And then here's their EPK, which we're going to dive into because it's also very good. Our previous appearances in Durham was July 2024 at our venue. They regularly draw around 100 people. And then what this show is going to be in our summer 2026 tour for our forthcoming live album out June 5th. God, that's everything that I said in our little last presentation. How did they know? It's almost like they've emailed here before. The Pinhook, they want to come if we'll have them back. So sweet. Looking forward to, that's great. It's a professional email, which I appreciate just because it's like super to the point. Doesn't always have to be, but they did a great job. Here's their Insta. Here's their contact information. And then they're going to be here with BAMF. It's just a great email. Their EPK also, let's see, I think I need to stop sharing and then start again. But yeah, their EPK is very, very, very good. let's see. Here we go. So here's their EPK. It is in a Drive folder, Google Drive folder. Remember to interrupt us with any questions if you have them, okay? And we'd love to hear what you have to say. But they have a Google Drive folder that they share with us, and it's like, here we go. We have album cover images that we'll look into, band logos, promo pics, blank promo flyers. How freaking cool! This means that I don't even have to ask them for their ad mat. I can be like, yay, I just want to make a flyer right now at 1 a.m. I'm gonna make it with the information they already sent me. And then they have their bios and links. So let's see if this. Oh, you can't see this, actually, is the issue. There you go. Look at that. Super cool. So album cover images are right here. So great. I mean, these are also promo pics. Sweet Dream has very simple, but very cool, actually collage. Like, they're not even that simple, but they're really beautiful. And then we'll go into their band logos. That's cool. I could use that on a poster. It's some font or whatever that they like to use. So easy. And this is a great band. And they are like, you know, they're as pro as they look. And they don't have like a booking agent that was reaching out to me. So you too can do this. Here's their flyer. So rad. Wait, hold on. Let's go back to that. Check out this flyer. That's great. That's like, I think that's sized in a 4:5 or whatever. So I can use that on Instagram. Very cool. And promo pics. That's amazing. But epic. They're really great. They're pose, they're pro, they're chill. There's one that's like, you know, less just a picture of us doing things. They have an LP QR code. I mean, who doesn't have a QR code these days? Am I right? And then here we have, yeah, see, they have run into several things already. It seems like, don't list us as Sweet Dreams, plural, or anything else. Great request. There's a live show I can watch. There's their bio. That's a great size for a bio. Honestly, if your bio is a lot longer than that, no one is going to read it, even if it's on our website. So many bands, including mine, have bios that are way too long. There's their link tree. There's their stuff that we need, their socials. And their stage plot isn't drawn out. This is actually enough for us. So you don't have to go wild with it. Here are their releases, and you can check those out. And this is epically cool, you guys. They have just their press, you know, and some short quotes, and then I can check out the whole article if I want to. And honestly, I haven't heard of Blessed Cursed or Caricature. And that doesn't matter. Like, I'm like, some people are listening to your stuff and this is what they wrote about it. That's so cool. So yeah, Sweet Dreams EPK. How cool is that? If anyone has any questions, holla. And I think that's gonna do it for Sweet Dreams EPK. Yeah, that EPK was great. And if you have that little bit of information and it's succinct like that, then you can send it out to every venue that you're trying to book, which is going to save you time, and it's going to save the venue time reading and replying to like 5 emails back and forth. Then that's going to get lost. I'm telling you, almost every venue owner or booker is ADD. I almost promise you that. This is really important. You've sent out your email. You've done all the work you can. This stupid venue owner has not written you back. That happens quite often. So follow up. I mean, you're not going to be too annoying. Just follow. I mean, you could be. Actually, let me not say that. But follow up. I have this like very fake rubric right here. It's like follow up in 5 days. Check back. check back in 3 days. It's going to take a second, most likely. But keep checking back as much as you like. Get holds or recommendations for other venues while you're at it. So you really want to play the Pinhook. You haven't heard back from us in 5 days. You really have to book your tour. So go ahead and contact Ruby's and see if they have the date, or 506 or Kings. Go ahead. Get holds. It doesn't mean that you have to confirm them. Know what I mean? Ask what date is most likely to confirm. Ask what you need to challenge the hold. When you challenge a hold, you're like, this is the date I want. And I want, like, if you challenge it, which means the venue is asking all the other holds in front of you, if they, oh, someone just said, I'm not sure how I showed up here. What's up, KA? This is a talk about booking and sending emails as bands to venues. So what's up? Thanks for asking. Hello. But what I was saying is, like, when you're challenging a hold, venues are asking all the holds in front of you. They're like, okay, I've got this date challenged. These are their holds. Do you want the date? And if they all say no, then the date is yours, right? So we're clearing holds ahead of you. So if you challenge, you got to really, like, that's what you're going to do. You want that date. And when you get your date, follow up with all the other venues, please, and tell them that you booked their show somewhere else. That is going to, it's just going to feel really good to the venue, and it's going to maintain your relationship with the other venues. And it's going to show that you're thoughtful. Regardless, always leave the emails on a good note. Ask for recommendations. You're like, oh, cool, I can't play there. Where else should I play? We always tell people Rubies. Ask for feedback. Be like, how was my email? Was it terrible? And then keep coming back. Like, unless you're burning a bridge, the venue is ready to play. They want you to be there. And this is how you book the Pinhook. Thanks for watching. I've got a couple more slides, but this is our email address, right? booking@thepinhook.com. We don't book on Instagram. So come on, give us an email. It's on our website. We are doing these office hours and school every Wednesday at 7 p.m. We're on class 3 right now, and we have 8 classes. So see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Or you can go on our Patreon or Substack and find past videos. We'd really appreciate any donations that you can give us. We also do podcasts, and they are live on WXCU at 10:30 in the morning. And then those are also on our Patreon and Substack. This week's podcast, we're talking to Charlie Harris, who is of Megabitch, the band I mentioned earlier. Such a sick band. And also Chuck is just incredible. They do sound at literally every venue. So we're going to get some tea and no shade about what it's like to be a queer sound engineer in the Triangle and elsewhere. Chuck's traveled and done sound. They're just freaking amazing. Join our Patreon. Join our Substack. This is what we do. We give free things away, ticket giveaways, classes, yearly coloring books. How cute are we? All sorts of stuff. So thanks for playing. This is a really fun class for me, and I hope it was for y'all too. And again, if you've just made it to the end of this class and you're watching a recording, please put comments in the chats and stuff, because we'll get back to those. All right. Well, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, Pinhook Cat. I'll see you soon.
Bye, meow.
All right. Thanks, y'all.